a real beat down.
How's it going?
She's here to make her screen time rather than working on her garment. Oh my God. Honey, I got to be the big personality. Okay. So not only is Silky not happy with what she got, which is what she chose, but she's making her way around the workroom, doing all of her saying boom, cat, cat that she's been doing since she walked into the door. You get a peppermint. You get a peppermint. Everybody get a peppermint. Silky should probably head back over to her peppermint box and figure out how she gonna sweeten up this runway. I'm just trying to see if everybody remember this. Excuse me, everybody's attention. Attitude check. See y'all gonna do me like that?
Coming up. Hey, what's up? It's Miley Cyrus. I'm gonna go meet the Queens for the first time, but they don't know they're meeting me. I want to go.
What's up, Kev McCamish?
I'm going as a crew member. RuPaul's Drag Race is brought to you by Taco Bell's Nacho Fries. Now serving near you.
When Taco Bell's Nacho Fries disappear, one man must bring them back. Daddy's gonna bring Nacho Fries. Now serving. Every material purposely chosen. Every texture.
Hello.
What's up?
This is Harry.
What's up? Gotta turn my picture back on. Do. There we go. How's it going, Harry?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Just checking things out before I pop back off again. That won't be on until later.
A lot happens in a day. Outlast happens once.
Pony just posted his spreadsheet about 6 minutes ago. But not like obviously just the colors, and it's crazy. I'm definitely curious to know what all the colors mean. What up?
Oh, wait. That's why I can't hear you, because my speakers are blank. And now I can hear you, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, thank goodness.
Right?
All right.
So hat or no hat?
I'm about to go throw a hat on, so you keep yours on.
Wow, I didn't know we were wearing ties to this event. I guess I can throw on a tie real quick.
I think that's Kev's like stock picture.
Oh, that's just okay. He's not moving at all.
Yeah.
He's got very good posture.
Although that chair looks comfy.
Yeah, it does.
We all ready for this?
I think so. Yeah.
It's not for everyone. Call your doctor about unusual mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these.
Yeah, so we're hanging out, and then when it's our turn, we jump on, and then we jump off when we're done. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Unless we just stay on here and not say anything, but just make faces about, oh my God, I can't believe they picked that.
Instant reactions.
Right? I can see Pony talking.
What kit are you wearing, Alan?
This is the San Diego Soccer's indoor home of Landon Donovan.
Yes.
How is he doing?
He's played one game. He has one assist.
Oh.
But chances are he's going to score this next game because the team we're playing is just all right.
to a lady carrying it. Is that how it goes?
Very cool.
Yeah, it was definitely looked like a game he wasn't comfortable playing.
Mm.
He looked good, but not like great. He looked lost a few times, but
So it's a completely different game, though.
yeah, I mean there was about 8,500 people there, so like 4 times as many as normal. But
Yeah.
it was a pretty good game. They clinched the Pacific if they win tomorrow.
Oh.
They're like 14-1 right now.
Wow.
And if you haven't been to an indoor game, you need to get to an indoor game.
I've not been to an indoor game before. I watched one time. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's fast paced, lots of goals,
Yeah.
fun.
I know how to sell, but
What's up, Carson?
What up?
Well, I'm gonna hop off till it's my turn because I got RuPaul's Drag Race to watch in the meantime.
Ah.
So good luck, gentlemen. We'll see you on the Twitter chat. Enjoy that red Guinness. Is that what you're still drinking?
Yeah, it's like a red but kind of purple. I don't even know what to call it. It's pretty interesting.
But like a nitro stout?
It is, yeah. It's a nitro. I guess it's a cream ale technically. It's a cream ale with black currants added.
Fair enough. As long as it's
Yeah.
yummy.
Yeah, it's pretty
As long as it's
tasty.
yummy. All right, guys. I'll catch you in a bit.
Cool.
Take
Oh, Ryan has appeared. Should I back out now? I guess this is the point where I back out, isn't it?
What's up, Ben?
Hey, good to see you.
Which
on
kid is that? Is it Myrtle
podcast.
Beach?
It is, yeah. It's a Myrtle Beach Mutiny kit. It's
Nice.
very nice. Oh, goodness. Yeah. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Just got to the library. Didn't have to kick anyone out, so that's always good.
That makes it a lot easier, I assume.
Who was that team that everyone forgot when they were doing their rankings? For me, it was Memphis.
I was just doing my Eastern, and I completely forgot to put the Rowdies anywhere. I was literally about to post it, and I was like, "Wait, something's missing." I don't know. I don't know what to think about Memphis, honestly. I don't think they'll be bad, but I don't
I
think they'll be
forgot them.
great either. So, yeah.
Them and OKC. I forgot both of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so you could be decent.
How are you, Kev? Carson?
Good. What's up?
What up? What up? Doing good?
All right. Well, I'm going to dip out until it is my turn to pick in the draft order, but I will see y'all later.
Bye, Fantastic.
Hey.
Hey,
Yo.
hey.
I'm gonna make some tea. 'Cause I'm tired. I actually thought Kev was dressed up looking at me and just staring at the screen, but it's a picture of you dressed up.
That is what everybody says. This episode is brought to you by Two Towns.
Oh boy. I hope you're wasted again so you can do really bad in this draft.
I am going to do bad in this draft. Last year, I made random guesses and picked the most teams that everybody to make the playoffs, but I didn't win because you picked the USL Cup winner. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I bothered to make
I win?
Yeah,
whoever
USL winner.
Yeah.
Whoever picked Louisville. I will say the last 2 years we've been doing this draft, the team I picked in the first round ended up in the Cup final.
I picked Louisville?
I think.
Someone.
I think I did.
Connie, did Phil pick Louisville?
Pretty sure you did.
Oh, who knew?
Tony, did Phil pick Louisville last year?
He's gone. Did he leave us?
He's giving us like a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Can't hear.
Down.
I made that whole nice sheet, and then I was like, nope, forget it.
You did. I used that sheet.
I'm glad people used it, but I didn't use it.
I especially liked the color coding that Pony did for us. I thought it was awesome.
Hey, I was looking at the big board.
Which one? The Vegas one?
No, the one that was posted in the group chat.
His mom's big board.
I didn't see the big board in our group chat actually.
The draft board.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Yeah, Pony's draft board looks like, I don't know, pixel Lego art. I like it. This was a good idea. I'm glad we're doing this the way we are. Do. We got the transfer tracker ready to go. Got all my picks. I'm ready. Were we going to wait for Evan?
Yeah, Phil, you selected Louisville last year.
I totally did, huh? I also picked someone else. OC, I think. I think I picked them high, so that would have helped if we were doing some kind of a total.
Yeah, hat tip to Harry who grabbed that.
Oh, thanks, Harry. Jeez, you found that online? Harry's the best, for real.
I picked Orange County like mid-table. I thought.
Liked him last year. I like him this year. It's as much of a tip I'm giving you guys.
Just the tip.
I tried to set up my camera so I could have a better video today. It didn't work. I don't know how it works on a computer. I got to look it up. How to hack it. Oh, I didn't pick OC. Someone took OC. I had Louisville City, Real Monarchs, Riverhounds, Ottawa, Switchbacks, Tulsa.
And United moves on in CCL.
Oh, I was watching as much as I could. I missed most of the middle because I'm a dad. Anyone else watch it?
I watched a little bit of the highlights.
I
Man,
saw
Atlanta looked great.
half the Fusion celebration, and my heart broke.
Yeah, I know. It was good. That's cool he did it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Atlanta United's going to be beaten by the eventual champions Monterey in the next round.
Rooting for Monterey?
Not rooting. I think they're going to win.
I don't know. Tigres look so good.
I think Monterey will beat Atlanta United, but they'll probably play Tigres in the final if they're not playing Santos.
Probably. I'm behind you on that, actually. That's exactly what I would say.
Because it's Tigres and Monterey who are currently atop the it's a Clausura now.
Santos is above Tigres? That's
No, it's Tigres, Monterey who are atop the Clausura at the moment, and then Santos is fourth.
Okay. They just looked really good. I forgot who they played in the first round. Maybe it wasn't anyone good.
It was someone weaker, but they still beat them 11-2 in aggregate.
They looked like a European side almost. They looked really good.
Yeah, it's just why I think Monterey is going to win CCL.
But I thought Atlanta at times looked like, world beaters.
Is this anything? Nope. Anything?
Yeah, we got.
Okay, I'm using really bad mic now, but
You're fine.
The other one
okay,
broke.
I'm using like gaming headset mic.
Yeah, it'll work. I can try to mess with the EQ with it. If you can turn the volume up a bit, it might help.
Let's see.
No go. It's fine.
Better or worse?
It sounds fine to me.
Or no difference. Maybe worse.
No, you're good. You're good. We're good.
Yeah, I don't know why the thing isn't working, but figures.
So I got to go see KC, speaking of CCL, play Toluca, and I just couldn't believe how bad Toluca was. Speaking of all these Mexican teams. But I think they're like at the bottom. They're in relegation zone, right?
Don't they do some really weird, like 2 seasons worth of relegation?
Yeah, they do a weird, like you have to have like a full season table. I'll check at the moment. They are towards the bottom of the Clausura at the moment.
Yeah, don't they do like each of the last 3 seasons all factors into it?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that.
It's strange and dumb.
That sounds fine.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, because Toluca was in the playoffs for the Apertura.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, at the start of the year. And currently it's Veracruz who is last in relegation table.
Wow. Well, KC looked really good compared to Toluca, but I'm pretty sure Toluca's really bad.
In fact, Toluca's already ensured their safety for next season. There are only 4 sides who could possibly go down. It's Veracruz, Querétaro, Puebla, and BUAP.
Puebla led by Chalice.
Yeah, everyone else is safe.
Why would you do that to yourself?
For the 4th time.
I wonder if Ronaldo will coach in Liga MX next year, the following year.
If there's any Liga MX leadership out here, your relegation system's stupid. You should just change to a single table. 34 matches.
No, they wouldn't get rid of Pro Rel and join MLS.
They should.
Oh, shoot.
They do something even worse with their Pro Rel. There are teams who buy the lower division team, move them to their city, and then send the team they previously had back to the lower division side.
That's ridiculous.
I think it's the Bundesliga does the 3rd worst team and the 3rd best team from the lower division play a 2-legged match, and then whoever wins stays in the first league or goes up to the first league.
Scotland does that as well.
Yeah, I like that
playoff.
The Germans do something right that everyone else should be doing.
Right.
Well, England at least says that the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th do playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's not bad either.
No, not bad at all.
Unless you're the 3rd place team, then it sucks.
I think for me with the Bundesliga one, that 3rd bottom team in Bundesliga 1, it gives them something like, oh shit, we can't just completely check out, and we have to, fight for our lives at the end.
Playing for a job.
Yep.
The big thing with the playoff final in England, though, is it becomes such a big match. Like you saw Aston Villa Fulham this past year. Aston Villa has suffered a lot of financial difficulties because they didn't win that match. And they were banking a lot of their transfers, all of it just based off of the assumption they're either going to be in the Premier League, and then when they have to spend another year in the Championship, it really costs the side. You're seeing it right now on the table. They're not doing so hot or anywhere close to the playoff. Yeah, Aston Villa's 13th. They're basically 8 points out of the playoff at the moment.
So I thought they were in contention early on.
I think they've have fallen off, just like how Leeds have dropped out of the top two.
You can't blame their scouting.
I think I'd be okay with seeing Leeds back in the Premier League, though.
Yeah.
I messaged him.
I'm right here.
Maybe I'll text him too. We save text for really important things.
I don't think any of you guys even know my phone number. Seems like a bad idea to give it out.
Is your area code start with 916?
It may.
Uh-oh.
Even though I think they split up the area recently.
Oh, Evan, don't forget to do the ad read. You got that on lock?
No one's given me it.
Oh, you asked for it though, right?
Yeah, but no one gave me it.
You didn't ask for it.
I said if anyone wants me to do it, I could do it, but...
Hold on a second. I got you.
All right.
Where do you want it? You want it in an email or in the chat or in our DM?
Any if it works. Whatever's easiest. Actually, it's not email. I'm not sure which one you're going to send it to. I have like 3 emails I check.
Alan's helping us out in the chat.
I keep a big old paper in front of me that says what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, I just don't know which one you're going to send to. I have like work email, personal email, and old school email.
Yeah. Dang it, I'm not finding it. Here we go. Did you say an email, Pony, or did I hear you wrong?
Not email is best because I don't know which one I'm going to send it to.
I'm going to put it in this chat right here. Is that good?
Yeah, that should work. Let me just copy it into a notepad.
Yeah. I'm tempted just to give Evan's picks away. Everyone did their homework.
Did he send you a spreadsheet?
He's in Toronto, right?
Draft?
No. We could have done an auto draft. Didn't think about that. I call him.
I'll put up what we have on all those little colored signs that Pony did on our draft board, and I will close my eyes and I'll put my finger on the screen and just see who we pick. And
I was blind, so
Oh
closest
no!
one
How
is
did
not
he get Atlanta 2, Loudon, and the Galaxy all in a row?
No, I'm being. I would actually close my eyes and touch and try to randomly pick a team for him.
Yeah, really, I think we need to.
He has the 6 picks, so we can definitely kind of get into the first round.
Yeah, I mean, we can all say who should he pick.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I vote Ludon United for his first pick.
Atlanta 2
Followed
for
by
Taiwan pick.
followed by Tacoma for his the 7th pick for Evan.
Tacoma.
But no, it's Tacoma.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. So yeah, the guest, whoever the guest is on, will have to be the tiebreaker. How's that for Evan's pick? Does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it could actually be an interesting debate.
Yeah, we'll just have to try to do it quickly. All right, cool. I'm gonna hit record and we can get going, fellas. Does that sound good?
Yep.
And I'm going.
Okay, I got this host. So, welcome to the USL show's second annual draft, sponsored by Roughneck Scarves. I am your host for today, Pony. Surprise! I am as surprised as you are for this one. But we're going back to our draft. This year we have 36 teams in the USL. We keep growing. And as there's only 5 of us, it did not make much sense to leave one team to the fans. So we figured, why not give the fans a team? So this year we'll have the 6 of us drafted. Our 5 hosts plus a fan or fans. We'll rotate through multiple fans throughout each round of the draft. Each of them will get a stop in for a round, talk about who they're picking, why, criticize our picks, laugh at us, as we all know this is going to end very poorly a few months from now. But for the draft, our order, first up is going to be the man who is left with Tacoma as the last pick. Will probably just go full Mingo and grab a USL 1 team. Our first pick
I'm
is
okay with that.
Kevin.
Am I on the clock?
No, I'm gonna run down who's picking what draft order is first and our points.
All right, let me get my timer up.
So not quite yet, but get ready for it.
All right, get the timer going.
And also due to a crash, I'm gonna have to remember who picks what. Our second pick is going to be our fan account. Our first fan who's going to be picking comes from the land of llamas, comes from the land of money being thrown from helicopters, and all other random nonsense in the USL. We have Mr. Carson.
It's an honor and a pleasure, as always.
It's our Merc with a mouth.
The third Vegas llama, working class hero.
The third pick will be yours truly. And moving on to the number 4 will be the Phil with 2 L's and 2 O's, which is not the same number of L's as the Phil who I work with, but it is Phil Grooms.
One more L than the most.
And 5th is going to be the man who I could actually talk numbers with, and he doesn't either ignore or block me on spot. That would be Ryan.
Hey, Pony, how's it going?
Not bad at all. And the 6th pick will be the currently MIA person who is actually making me use the name Pony because we actually share the first name. Inside baseball right there. It is Evan. How are you doing, Evan?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Hopefully this works itself out very, very soon. If not, we have contingency plans.
Okay, cool.
For scoring, we get points based on how well the teams you pick do during the regular season and how well they do during the playoffs. For the regular season, if your team finishes between 7th and 10th, you'll gain 1 point. 5th and 6th place will get you 3 points. 2nd to 4th will get you 5 points. If your team wins the conference, you get 7 points. And if you win the Supporters' Shield, that's an additional 2 points. Playoff-wise, if you win the play-in game this year, it's worth 1 point. Winning the next round is 3 points. One more win will get you 5 points. Winning the conference finals will get you 7 points, and the cup is worth 10 points. So basically, you're going for winning the cup. That is the main goal. It's not quite winner take all, but winner probably takes all. So we're going to move to our number 1 pick in the first round, which is none other than Kevin. The board is yours.
Okay, I am on the clock. With the first pick in the second annual USL show draft, the representative from the Western Conference shall choose Nashville SC.
Ooh.
Nashville will go first.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the number 1 with a bullet.
I'm going with them because they were a pretty solid defense last year. Seems like a lot of those pieces are continuing, and one of their glaring weaknesses was an astounding inability to score goals. So adding Cameron Lancaster and Carlton Belmar to their squad means I'm hoping that this is a actual good first pick.
Yeah, I think it's the Cincinnati approach.
There you go.
And they won the cup. I mean, they won the Shield last year, so
9 points. Come on.
Safe move.
Solid move. A lot of attacking power.
And we'll see if it's enough. We'll see if it can make up for the lack of all offense last year. It was pretty ugly. So I think the question is like whether or not that coach can figure out how to even take the talent he has and make an attack out of it. I'm curious if he's changing much, but we'll see. There was a really good goal the other day. Did you guys see the through ball from Meloto? It was really good.
Yeah,
they got some
down
players.
man too.
Yeah. What were you about to say, Carson?
No, I was gonna say it's a good goal. They got a lot of guys that we see kind of year after year that are consistent, like Belmar, Lancaster, Meloto. You have a lot of guys that we know what they can typically do. So, I mean, you would assume they'll do the same.
Definitely. Cool, man. Well, while you're talking, you want to go on to that second pick?
Yeah. So the fan team, which we've gone by the moniker of Between the Sticks Mafia instead of 3-6 Mafia. So, on behalf of my talented friends, we will take Phoenix Rising FC.
There it is. X them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad pick. I mean, I think they're the number 1 team out west right now.
Carson, what makes you, would you have picked Nashville over them or would you have picked Phoenix straight up anyway?
It probably would have been Phoenix or Louisville, but for Phoenix, I think obviously you lose Drogba, but when you bring back Asante, I think Jason Johnson to me is probably one of the more underrated attacking players in the USL. I don't know if it's because he was playing with Drogba, but he kind of got overshadowed a bit. But no, I like what they do. Obviously, you add in the fan base is pretty strong, and yeah, I think Phoenix makes it happen again. I think they're comfortably the best team in the Western Conference.
I think we can all agree with that phrase at the very least.
Yeah, and that's going to make me think a bit on my third pick because I have Phoenix at number 4. So I have 2 teams I keep going back and forth on, which I think they're both East teams, so spoiler alert on who they are. I think everyone knows the 2 teams I'm talking about here. And it's a matter of how much does departures hurt one team versus additions help one team. And even though they had a couple questionable results recently, I'm going to go out on the limb and say there's no three-peat, and I'm going to grab Indy here.
Best
I
team
think they
ever.
have so much talent, and they've had a couple good results, even with a few half-trialist teams, bad results to USL 1 teams. I think they have a very high ceiling, but the floor I'm kind of scared about. But I could see Indy taking the East by a couple games.
Yeah, then I like how you mentioned like the preseason stuff and trialists. I know you've been putting some stock in the preseason games and kind of charting them on that Lego chart you got going over there. Is that something that worries you? How much stock are you actually putting into those preseason games?
I think preseason is all about chemistry, really. How does the team mesh? How's it come together and rounding out those last spots? If Indy's going to roll out a half trialist team and lose by 1 to a good USL 1 team, I don't care too much. I'd like to see that actually be a draw. But if you're only starting half your starters and the other half are who knows, I don't know if it's going to be people who are competing for the final spot or good names. I don't like that the USL doesn't actually give us who these people are half the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not too scared if you're going to start your second/third team and not get a great result against the next tier team. I mean, they still came in with a few very good games this preseason when they had their starters playing.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a win in the Senate with their stadium bill. Shout out to Brian Cook for the article.
That's right.
I am the Senate.
It's BGN written on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Senate, how about you are or wait, no. Phil's up next. Phil, you're on the clock.
I was wondering where you're going to go with Senate and me. I thought I couldn't think of anything, so there it is.
I got the wrong order.
All right, so this is I'm going against my chart here because I have a favorite, but it's kind of a biased favorite because I like them a lot, and so I'm going to not choose that team. I'm going to pick Louisville only because Harry went back and looked at our history and reminded me that that's who I picked last year, and it paid off for me last year. So maybe we'll get a three-peat. Who knows? The only worry is like Hackworth, right? Can he keep the I don't know, to keep the culture going, I guess is what I should say, and keep them trying as hard as they do every single game. You have to admit that I think James O'Connor built that and maintained it every single year. And so the question is, can Hackworth do that with losing Lancaster? And, he's trying to replace them with his players. So I'm interested to see what they look like this year. Even when losing Ownby last year, I think that they still did really well, and they got Ownby back this year. Hopefully he'll stay healthy. And if he does, they have a really good chance of maintaining. So,
I mean, based on Hackworth, now he has a tattoo, and by most accounts, that would mean he lacks discipline and, skill if we're talking about Pogba or Raheem Sterling. So we maybe just completely loses control of the locker room. I don't know.
I like that's interesting.
It was close between Louisville and Indy for me. I actually moved him back and forth probably once every other day over the last 2 weeks for this thing.
No kidding.
So I think it's basically equal.
Anyone
has a higher floor but lower ceiling?
Yeah, I agree. What has anyone lost faith in Louisville where they think Hackworth isn't going to figure it out? They're going to lose their culture or whatever other reason.
Louisville would have been my pick if you hadn't selected them.
Yeah, right on.
I had them number 2 in my draft board.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think we've lost faith. I think it's just the last few years we've all gone, well, Louisville's going to take a small step back, and then they win the cup again.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? I mean, they have the talent to make it 3 in a row, but I don't think odds are still against, I guess, anyone to win the cup at this point. But
it's a great thing about preseason. Ryan, so who's next on your board? You got to pick someone else since I stole your pick.
I've been wrestling with this. Each of the last 2 years we've been doing this draft, the team I selected in the first round goes on to end up in the USL Cup final. Louisville in the first of their 2P, and then I had Phoenix last year, first round. Both are off the board, so I'm going to break Tony's heart here and select Sacramento Republic. I
didn't think I was ever going to get them. In fact, they were my number 5.
I just think that they'll maintain that solid side. You have Elliot Horde coming back, Cameron Awasa. I feel like and I think the one player the 2 players I'm most impressed with is going to be Tyler Blackwood and Stefano Bonomo, who are both really good teams who basically come east back to the west, over to the west. Yeah. I think Republic is always going to be in the mix for a solid top 4 spot in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and I think if you're going big players, their keeper Cohen he should have won Keeper of the Year last year. Still, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that. And they loaded up on a bunch of center backs, which was one of the weaknesses you always claim, Pony.
Yeah, that and finishing. Finishing, I'm still scared of. It was them in Nashville last year who were just horrible at finishing, yet we're still okay teams.
I didn't realize they were as bad as Nashville, huh?
I think both them and Nashville at bottom 10 in the league.
Interesting. Good pick, Ryan. Who's next?
Our auto
Mr.
pick,
Ghost.
Random. Yeah.
Oh boy. Now we got.
I would like to pick. I would like to
Do we
pick.
want to just give everyone our
Udon
next
United?
pick and see if there's a consensus here?
Yeah.
Toss it into the group chat here as votes.
Tulsa. I choose Tulsa. My vote is Tulsa.
When you said toss it into the mix, I thought you were about to say Tulsa.
Well, we'll have to do 2 picks due to the snake draft.
Toronto FC too.
No,
Toronto and Flamingo.
When he's buying into that marketing scheme over there in Madison, that's twice you've dropped the Flamingo.
That's good.
All right. I feel like I'm just going to say the obvious one out loud because I feel like Riverhounds might be high on everyone's list. Does anyone agree with Riverhounds?
We have 3 votes for OC.
Okay, OC was my other one too.
There's 3 votes for OC. Well, then let's just go OC for 6.
I'm going to be honest. They were higher than Riverhounds on my list, but I just thought I was
OC
the only
was
one.
3 for me.
There we go. Same here.
And he'll have to come back and do another one since snake draft.
Oh,
All right.
right.
Next vote, everyone. Vote for what Evan should pick.
How many should we just do? OC in Pittsburgh?
Or Tacoma?
I'm
Or
tossing Reno.
Hartford
Reno.
too?
Any agreeances with Reno?
Me and Pony.
No, I would say Pittsburgh.
Pony, you could break it or you could tie
No,
it.
I have OC and Reno as my next 2 up.
Oh, it's a tie. Carson, you got to break the tie.
Oh, I said Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
He's in Pennsylvania. I mean, it makes sense.
We have 2
you're right.
Pittsburgh and 2 Reno.
But then he's kind of.
So that makes it Kevin breaks it.
No, Kevin said Pittsburgh.
I said
Phil-
Pittsburgh.
It's
Okay,
down to Phil.
Pittsburgh.
So he gets Pittsburgh. So
OC and Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
not bad picks. Not
Not
bad
bad.
picks.
That's a good turn right there.
All right, so I've got now on the board the first round: Nashville, Phoenix, Indy 11, Louisville, Sacramento, and Orange County.
Oh, that's such a good start.
And I think this is time for me to jump out, unfortunately.
Yep, guys.
Aw,
That's
Carson.
switch.
Switch it up.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
I'll be
See you
back
final
after
round.
the last pick as well.
I don't know if everyone knows, but everyone needs to know that Carson is a really hardworking guy. He takes care of BGN Written, and you can go to uslnews.com to check out his work because everything that's on that website has been looked at by Carson and approved by Carson. So, give it up for that man. He does a lot.
Working class hero.
Working
That's
class
what I
hero.
found on the
Thanks,
website.
man.
Ace.
All right, Ryan, you're on the clock.
Since we were
Wait for the next
requesting,
guy. Let's wait till we get our next person jumping in here.
But they're not until like after Phil and you. So
Well, if they could talk about it at least.
no, they got some time. All
who's
right,
next up?
you are Ryan.
Yeah, you
And
could at least
in
start.
the fan team.
Slow roll
Oh,
it.
I forgot.
Okay, I guess. Do you want me to do my pick or vamp?
No, do
Vamp
your
it a
pick.
bit.
Okay, Vampy says.
I guess I can talk about the Carolina Challenge Cup, which I was at this past weekend.
Ooh, yeah.
There we go. Very relevant for one of the teams that's going to come up here soon.
Yeah, so Charleston ended up losing their match against Chicago Fire. It was really cool to see Bastian Schweinsteiger play live. I just didn't think that a few years ago when he was with a World Cup winning Germany team that he'd be playing in Charleston, South Carolina. And then obviously the highlight of the weekend was seeing the first Hellas Real Derby of the year, Columbus against Cincinnati. Cincinnati showed up in warm-up kits for the entire game while Columbus played in their legit kits that they would have on opening day. And it just looked like really out of place. And Cincinnati played a weekend lineup, which I think is what they're going to do the entire season. and Columbus was able to just get through and win 3-0. I was in the Columbus section the entire game, and it was a lot of fun. Although it took me basically, I walked into the stadium, and not only 20 feet did I have a Cincinnati fan shouting that the Crew are lucky to be in existence because that Cincinnati saved them or something. But I don't know. The result was 3-0. It was exciting to see Higuain, Zardes, Stefan, all of them came over to clap to the fans during it. And I also ran into Goose, who's just now joining in the chat. So that was really cool to meet Goose in person.
Yeah, perfect segue.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, good to be here.
So you were there too. What'd you think of it, Ben?
It was really cool. It's the second time I've been down to Charleston, so not extremely familiar with it, but first time I've been there for CCC. It was great meeting Ryan. Went down with a couple Charlotte people, saw some Greenville people down there, so it was kind of like a
Soccer
big
shout out.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was cool seeing MLS quality and not little, but little Charleston, South Carolina, and seeing Bastian Schweinsteiger. Like, that's really cool. Can't say a lot of people have seen that. So yeah, it was a very positive experience. And it's great going down to Charleston. There's never a bad moment there, even if my team happens to lose. So yeah,
take the trip if you guys have in Charleston. We'll treat you right as a traveling fan.
It's in my top 5 probably of USL cities I want to hit.
But to jump right to the second round after we had Evan's pick of Pittsburgh, I'm going to go with the other team that everyone was wrestling with and choose Reno 1868.
There you go.
And I just think that basically they're going to be a good side. They're picking up Brian Brown's option this year. Corey Hertzog coming over from St. Louis. I think that Reno is like a really decent team for the West, and obviously they're going to wrestle with Sacramento out there, but it won't be like the dogfight of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I thought Reno was going to be bad last year, and they actually turned in a decent team. This year, I think they're better. So I could see them easily taking a number 2 or 3 seed in the West this year. I think they have a very high floor, though. That's why they're a good pick to me.
I like that they got Herzog. I'm curious without Wehan and Hopino. I'm really interested to see who the assist leader is going to be over there, because that's like that role. And yeah, they'll score some goals too, but there's a lot of talent for him to pick up on. And San Jose has a lot of young guys that they probably won't use that are going to send down that could be interesting to watch. I love Reno. I think the coach is really solid, kind of like some more teams we'll talk about later, where like it almost doesn't matter as long as they have good attacking talent. He does a good job of kind of taking advantage of the more open play in the West. I like him a lot.
They also always have the elevation and baseball field home advantage.
Good point, actually. Good point. Cool. Well, I'm next. Is it all right if I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Go for it.
All right. It's in the range. And last year I didn't pick my home team. And this year I figure maybe I should. So I'm going to pick St. Louis FC right here at number 9. I think the second year in a row of keeping the same system with Poulos is going to pay off. There are some upgrades in talent, and I like the way they're setting up this year. If I'm reading it correctly, I think it'll be more attack friendly, which is what they needed. And they can even give a little bit on the defensive side because it's so solid up the spine. So I really like what they're doing, and I think they'll do better. Like, the big thing last year was that they went on a really good run in the last like 10 or 15 games. And if they start that way, or if they start really defensive and then get to that at some point in the season, they're going to have no trouble getting into the playoffs. And they're the kind of team that can kind of defeat almost anyone in the playoffs on any given day, which is true for most of the league. But that's why I'm picking St. Louis.
I just have them that big mix of the next tier teams in the East. If I go straight down my board, I actually have them as a 4th round pick. So I don't know. I think they're in that they could be this high, but they also could get hung up on the things they tend to get hung up on. They've never really been able to break out in the past, and I'm wondering in the East who is very middle heavy. There's a lot of teams who you look at the East and go, they're good but not great. I'm not quite sure they could break out of that, but for all I know, they could be the team who 2 months from now going, oh wow, St. Louis is in third, and we go, St. Louis has 10 points. You don't know.
Totally agree. Would you say too? We like to talk in tiers, kind of, or would you say like top 5 or top 6, and then there's a drop off, top 7 or top 8? What do you think?
Yeah, East I have like a top 5 and a really big drop.
Yeah.
And then they're in that they're the bottom group of that second group where it's like the who knows, they could get hot group.
Mm-hmm. And I was talking the whole league about 8 or 9, and then it kind of drops off, I think. But yeah. Anyway, who's next? Oh, it's Pony. Pony, why don't you go?
Well, I'm really surprised this team is actually around. I'm picking my number 8 team overall right here. And I am going in the East, and I am taking a team who, no matter what happens, they always seem to be good. Last year, we were like, well, these guys are going to suck because they lost everyone, but they turned out to be a good team again.
No, I know you're picking.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm taking Charleston.
Yep.
I say they were my number 8 overall. I actually had them right above Pittsburgh because I think a bad year for Charleston is going to be 5th seed. I just don't see them getting passed by that many teams this season. So I have to lock into them because they just have such a high floor. While their ceiling is not that great, I can't see them having a bad year. Like a worst case scenario is 7th seed to me, really. And I have to take that in the second round at this point.
I'm going to say what I always say about them, and it's like Reno, where you kind of trust the coach to do something good no matter what he's got.
I was hoping Charleston was going to fall to me, so I was like, I want that one. So yeah,
I did them wrong. I did them wrong on my list, but we'll see.
They've proven bad years are still okay. Because last year we had them the 4th or 5th round, and we all got laughed at for it.
Yeah, I picked Charleston last year. I actually picked them after Charlotte.
Yeah, last year we were dumb and said Charleston, Sacramento, and Orange County are all bad teams. So
Charleston's made the playoffs 3 years, at least 3 years. I mean, all my stuff I kept track of only went back 3 seasons, but they were 6th in 2016, 2nd in 2017, and 4th in 2018. So
I think they've made the playoffs in the modern era of USL every season.
It's a safe pick.
Yep. All right. Fan pick up next.
Goose.
Oh, Goose, I think you're muted, buddy. Or we lost your audio, perhaps.
Got a pantomime.
Oh, man, that stinks. He's looking at the mic, trying to figure it out.
Oh, no, don't put the mic there. Ooh.
Atlanta?
Oh, shoot.
A United something. Ludone United? Atlanta United? I can't tell. You want to type that out?
I know letters in the American Sign Language. That's it.
Oh, so that was a big loop. So Ludone.
Louisville City again.
It's already been picked.
It's not the USL show until something goes wrong.
Yeah.
In this case, it was not only me, but somebody else.
I think Goose maybe.
You can type it. You want to type it in the chat, Goose? San Antonio. He picked San Antonio.
That's just believable.
Oh wait, he actually did.
That's just believable enough to actually make it be a legitimate pick.
Yeah. San Antonio is a good pick. Do you want to type in a little small description? We'll kill a little more time for you. You can say why you like them shortly, Goose, and we'll read it out for you. San Antonio is a good pick, though.
Yeah, they were like 2 down for me at this point.
Yeah, they were my next on my list too. But why do we like them? They kind of maintained their roster and underperformed last year, in my opinion. Do you guys kind of agree with that?
Yeah, last year was a kind of aberration of that's their floor. That's their absolute floor of San Antonio was last year.
You hope.
I don't think it could be much worse because of the talent on that team.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you too.
Michael Lahoud, Billy Forbes coming over from Phoenix, Amir Dodig.
That's huge.
And Cardone.
Let's see.
I love Diddich coming in from Swope Park, like you just said.
Barnby from Portland.
Yeah. So Goose said quality signings, a solid pick that has potential upside. Gotta believe in that. Yeah, Billy Forbes coming back, right? Didn't he come back? He left to. Is Forbes the one that went to Phoenix and now he's back?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, they have like Pittsburgh upside to me.
Yeah. And Carson mentioned Johnson last year. I didn't think Johnson was that much better than Forbes for Phoenix. I don't know if maybe I was wrong on that, but I didn't see a huge difference there. So, or no, they're different, aren't they? They're different guys. Am I thinking of, is Canardo Forbes who I'm thinking of? I'm really sorry if that's wrong. Anyway, we should probably move on. Goose, I'm really sorry this didn't work out, buddy. Come back with a mic if you like. But we should probably move on to Kevin's next pick.
All right. Well, with the 12th pick in the second round, I'm going to go with one of the last available teams I've got that has made the playoffs in every season of the past 3 seasons that I went back and looked at. I'm going to go New York Red Bulls 2 for number 12.
Yeah, that's a really, really good pick. I was hoping they'd somehow fall to me.
And then once again, now my next pick is hard because it's down between it was down to 2 teams for me. But despite the fact that they moved over to the Eastern Conference, the previous 3 seasons they made the playoffs and actually reached the USL Cup final twice, 2 out of 3 times. So despite the fact I'm going with another MLS 2 side, I am going to pick Swope Park Rangers with number 13.
It's Red Bulls and Swope Park, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Red Bulls is a pick. Like I hope they actually would fall more because given our scoring system, I looked at it over the past 2 years. They're actually the number 4 team overall for points scored for draft-wise. And that's without even winning a cup. I mean, the number 4 team with failing to win a cup is pretty good. And again, Swope Park is always, I think they've still never lost a home playoff game in their existence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully they're going to be worth some points for me.
I think
go
ahead.
I was going to say, I feel a little Eastern Conference heavy with all 3 of my picks so far being Eastern Conference, but and my only concern with being Eastern Conference heavy is just because the Eastern Conference is going to be, I think, well, not just going to be, but they have been and probably will be again better than the Western Conference, and thus it'll be a bit more of a fight for who can make those top 10 playoff spots. But I'm hoping my 3 picks get me some points, or my first 3 picks. So we'll go from there. Who's our next fan rep to join?
Oh man, we need to give them more heads up.
But they should know the line or the order.
Pony, who's up next? Do you know?
He's went BRB.
Oh, he said, look at this. Well, I looked up a few things about what you just picked, and one of them is Red Bulls. I think are going to bounce. I think they're going to do better this year based on kind of returning players and some of the people they brought in.
Konnichiwa, uglies. How are y'all doing today?
Don't make a big entrance, Jason. Come on, man. Take it easy.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Billy Forbes. Come on, man. I'm
thinking of Canardo Forbes is Riverhound.
Billy Forbes.
Listen,
Turks.
man. When you flip-flop between the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference all the time, you start confusing Eastern and Western Forbeses.
Turks and Caicos legend, led them to their first, I think it was a draw or was it a win in League Nations this year for the first time in 7 years, 11 years, something crazy like that.
On Billy's back.
Billy's back.
What's up, man? Jason's
Hey.
part of League One Fun. Has been on BGN written for even longer than that. So doing good work.
Thanks. So yeah, a lot of I wish Evan was here. I hope he's okay. Because I was ready to flame him. Man's had the nerve to pick Texas winning League One. But we'll get to that another day. I think right now we're here to pick some teams, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
So yeah, I believe that the fan delegation is going to go with OKC.
Whoa. All right.
And you know
and
what?
Nicholas Murray are liking OKC this year.
I'm loving OKC. So the fact that they're on the board and I'm the one that gets to pick them makes me extremely happy. I think that it's a lot of internationals. So I think in the beginning they might not click, but I think Coach Cook is gonna get it together and they're gonna go on a late run and really surprise people. And I think that they are going to connect at the right time. They've got a score now. They've got Deshaun ready. Deshaun's going to score all the goals. They've got good people to set him up. They picked up Cordell Cato, who also I believe is one of the most underrated players. Doesn't get the shine and the attention that he deserves. Omar Gordon. They've got old man Atiba Harris, who's still doing everything. Solid goalkeeper and Cody, who they re-signed, and he's one of the solid keepers in the league. My boy Kyle Williams representing Trinidad and Tobago, Soca Warriors. What's up? I like it. They brought in the two Frenchmen as well, who both have a lot of great upper league experience. This is a team to where they have the talent to, if they can get it together, they're going to run through people. I'm happy that we got a chance to pick them. I'm happy they're on the board, and I'm comfortable with this.
They remind me of St. Louis a lot. They kind of have a lot of players that are kind of really good players. None of them are shockingly excellent. You know what I mean? And so I think the rest has to be picked up by the system or by, just sheer will of mine to win games and things like that. But that works in USL. It really does. So I don't necessarily think you're wrong.
Yeah. I think it's just all about whether or not Coach can get it together. And I think he will.
Yeah. I have them as that borderline play-in game team. I don't think they're going to be great, but it's going to be OKC that we used to know as opposed to last year. They kind of dropped off the radar a little bit. Where I don't think they're going to be one of the best teams in the West, where I think their ceiling is probably stealing 5th, 6th seed. But they have talent. They actually have a lot of talent. It's a question of can it actually be put together. And that's where I'm a little bit concerned as opposed to a couple of other teams around here. But I have them in the playoffs, and that's better than they have been in the last year. And OKC is going to be one of those unique teams where they could be really good, and I think they have a high ceiling, or they have that floor of what they proved last year, where just things don't work. It's interesting to see them out there.
I think that, and I've tweeted a couple times, I think that they're destined to make a playoff run. I think they're going to go probably 2 rounds into the playoffs. And I think that my boy Owen Gordon is going to have his breakout year this year. I think because he has consistent finishers waiting for him. I think that he has been dependent on too much as a striker, and he's better at creating chances. And he gives hell out there. He's a physical guy. He's good with the ball. He has the skills. I think he's going to create a lot of chances. And you're going to see him have a good amount of assists, some good shots on goal. And this is going to be a year that he's really going to stand out.
Yeah, Gordon and Brown together is going to be fun to watch for sure. Even if they don't win, they're going to have some good chances throughout games, which is what they needed, I think that's why they did so badly, because they trusted Angulo. This is a St. Louis in saying this. They trusted Angulo and Valesky last year, and gosh, God help them. I mean, it didn't work for St. Louis, either one of them, and OKC took them both from us, and it didn't work for them either. So, yeah. I think they will do better. I think their personnel, their striker, their attacking players are much better this year. And I also wanted to say, I said Nicholas Murray likes OKC. It's actually John Arlia has been writing a lot of cool editorials, and he wrote that he thinks OKC's going to bounce back.
Well, John knows what he's talking about. Can't hate the man for that.
I just want to see that defense step up a bit.
Bring it back to the Nielsen days a little bit.
That was an issue last year.
Yeah,
you can't go negative goal differential in the USL and be a good team.
Yeah.
So if they can make it positive, they're definitely a strong side.
We should move on, though. What do you think, Pony? Who's next?
Well, I actually have like 4 teams that have been picked below to me, but I'm going to go out west this time and take a team who every single year starts out as the team we go, these guys are good, and they kind of fall off, but I'm just going to hope they don't fall off for a 3rd or 4th year in a row. I'm taking the Real Monarchs.
Sucker.
Well, here's the thing. It was for me with my last pick. It was either going to be Swope Park or Real Monarchs, and I was like, I don't know which one to go with. So, yeah, Real Monarchs is a good pick.
Yeah, the Real Monarchs, like the first 2/3 of the year, are great. Then there's something happens. I'm hoping this year it doesn't happen.
You think this is the exception to the rule year? This is the range of a few teams where you're like, oh yeah, this year they're not going to mess it up. This year they're not going to mess it up.
Yeah, this is the range where oh yeah, they're good except for X.
Yeah.
And X is the last 2 months for the Monarchs.
It's true. Definitely.
I think at one point last year they were on pace for like 85 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then they finished outside of the top seed, and it's like, what happened? So I think I just have to take him here because the ceiling is so high. But it's just one of those frustrating situations where you see all the potential and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You have to take the blind stab that somehow it actually happens this season.
They also have some things about the Monarchs is they have a really good eye for players that are a little bit overlooked. Their 2 goalkeepers last year were so freaking good, and no one really seemed to want them that much. And so I think they got them for a good price. They also were the team that picked up Chandler Hoffman, Portillo, and Chang, all in 1 year or 2 years.
Gang over here.
Yeah, I mean they just have a really good eye for talent. The thing is, it looks like Portillo might get a chance with the senior team. Chandler Hoffman's down in Birmingham now, so we'll see what they look like this year. That's my only worry is they have a lot of turnover, but they also have a lot of youth and they have a good GM. So
I think only 1 year they've missed the playoffs though, out of like 4 years now. So
yeah, it's shocking.
You're up, Phil.
All right. I'm debating what to do. Basically, this turn, I want to throw in some fun picks that are like long shots and a half. And I think I'm going to go with okay. We'll see if I get them both. I'm going to go with Ottawa Fury first.
Oh boy. All right, that's my cue. Let me get out of here. It's starting to smell bad in here.
All right. Here's the reason why is I think Charlie Ward is awesome. I think Wallfall is even awesomer. And those two are gonna rule that midfield, guys. They're gonna be so good. And they're gonna play the way that the coach has been wanting to play over there, and he hasn't been able to because he hasn't had these 2 guys basically. So just watch that midfield is going to start to take over. They're going to have a metronome in the midfield. They're going to be able to keep the ball on the ground. And as long as they can defend, they did like seal that up a little bit after the first several games. I think they'll be able to attack if they have just like a moderately good attacker or 2 up top. So I think they're going to bounce back, and I have more faith this year than last year when I picked them for the same exact reason, by the way.
Fool me once, shame on me.
No.
Fool me twice.
No, I mean,
shame on Phil.
Funny. Like you had picked St. Louis last. Like St. Louis and Ottawa are like I think the exact same level in my picks.
Yeah, I got too many mid. Yep.
I think they're actually back to back on mine. Okay, no, they're back to Miss Drew team, then back again. But it's the same tier of they could actually make a good run, or they could just fall apart. Don't quite know. I think it's the high risk, high reward tier. Especially in the East, because the East is The East is better, especially around the. I'll flat out say it, the East about this level is better, 100% than the West. If it was the best 20 teams, you'd have far more East teams than West teams.
Yeah, the West kind of falls off a cliff right here, I think.
I mean, I have 2 West teams left in my top 25.
Well, Ryan, I don't know if you have a West queued up, a Western team queued up, but who's next for you?
And with that segue of the West falling off, I'm going to choose a side from the East that I'm shocked that they've stayed in so long, and I am going to be selecting the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yep. Saw it coming.
Like looking at their transfer shock, they've signed Brandon Allen, Jan Ekra, Leo Fernandez is coming back. And like Antonio Hopenot is going to be there with them, Tarek Morad and Kwando Poku, Zach Steinberger from Indy 11. I just feel like you can't. Tampa is not going to be a side that's going to have 2 bad seasons in a row. Yes, it fell off last year, but I feel like they're going to make the playoffs this year. And like we said earlier in this round, every team that we pick here is going to be that side that this is the year, or that they just can't mess up again, or they're good up until. But I just feel like with Tampa, they're not going to make the same mistake 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I have no idea how they dropped this far either. I mean, Monarchs are my 10, Tampa was my 11. I don't see how they do that bad again. Last year, I made the mistake of picking them first overall, which was a very, very bad decision in hindsight. But, I mean, this year...
We all thought it was a good decision at the time, though, to be fair.
Yeah, that was the ironic part. Everyone goes, it's a great first-round pick, Tampa Bay, and then they shit the bed and just fall apart.
Hopefully, any Nashville fans that are listening are going to hope that that's maybe a one-time thing of us cursing our first pick.
I cursed the first round pick every time I pick somebody. Remember, like 2 years ago, I said Tulsa was going to be good. That didn't happen. Last year, OKC, they're going to be good. Nope. Tampa, good. Nope.
Well, do you feel like Tampa has guts this year, though? Like, I'm worried because anyone that signs Brandon Allen seems to not do well. But they do seem to have guts.
They still got 8th seed, and they took Cincinnati penalty kicks.
Well, all right, fair enough. But mark my words on that one. You can make fun of my picks all you want, but mark my words on that one. And the Hopono thing, I still worry that Hopono was more a Reno thing than it is like a talent of an individual player. But I do feel like the Rowdies have guts this year. I don't think they're going to lose a million games when they're away from home. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to be more of a normal, normal floor kind of a team.
Yeah, they're going to be a mid-table team to me.
Yeah, at worst. I don't know. Maybe I guess it could be worse.
Yeah, they could get hot, but I think 5th place. That sounds about right to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, now we got a big argument because this is going to be a harder vote. I think earlier it was a little easier, but we got to pick 2 teams for Evan now.
We already have one consensus.
We've got one pick. One of the consensus picks from myself, the chat, Pony, Ryan. We've all kind of what's your name again? Jason. I'm having God damn it, sorry, I have too much. Anyway, so consensus pick, New Mexico United.
Oh Lord.
For number 18.
Pony, you talk about them. You like them.
Yeah, well, I liked Fresno last year too, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves on this one. But they've signed a lot of very solid players, and if you look at their roster, it's people you recognize as solid USL talent, and that's something that not a lot of teams have. Even returning teams who have played for 2 or 3 years, they don't have this many teams, this many players that you go as so, oh yes, they are a replacement or at least above replacement level USL side. And New Mexico and the West, it's more open. I could see New Mexico making a run. They're not going to be one of the best teams, but they're going to be solid, and I really wouldn't be surprised if we see New Mexico play better than the play-in round. I can see them getting the 5th, 6th seed, getting lucky, and maybe getting an upset.
New Mexico is winning a game in the playoffs.
Depends where they finish. If they finish like 6th seed, no. But
I
we'll see.
had New
I like
Mexico.
them. I mean, for me, I like the branding. They're a good team. I'm actually happy to see them, but I don't think they're going to beat like a number 2 team in the first round of the real playoffs. I can't see them beating Sacramento or see them beating Phoenix or Orange County. I think that's a little bit too far.
I had them in my group as one of the fringe teams in the West that likely wouldn't make the playoffs, but could. So we'll see. There's a possibility there. All right. So the next, Evan's got to pick one more. We've got some less consensus votes. It sounds like it's down to one of 3 teams, but it looks like we've got more votes for. Let's see. I'm getting 1, 2, 3, and going with Carson in chat. I'm gonna say 4 picks. Austin Bold FC.
Ugh.
You're a bold one.
So can we talk about expansion teams and why we think they're going to be good? Because I think several have pulled that sort of thing off, but I don't know history enough to know. Does anyone know about expansion teams?
Sacramento Republic's the only expansion side to win the USL title in the first year.
That's also when it was like the expansion teams made up 10% of the league.
That's true. Yeah, that's hard to say. Did Nashville started last year, right? And they got 8th.
They got the playoffs, and again, like they were a really good defensive team. They just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Mm-hmm.
So fixing that, I mean, they should be able to make the playoffs again.
Yeah, I'm gonna need someone to explain Austin to me because I actually had them as basically an unpickable team.
I asked Carson to sell them on me. Solid vets and intriguing new guys. Solid vets. The thing about their solid vets remind me a little bit of Vegas last year, where some of the solid vets at Vegas I actually really loved. Like Cheeky, I really liked him a lot, but for the most part, I don't think it paid off.
Amobio Kugo?
Yeah, see, I just don't know him, and that's
solid vet.
Tell me about him. I don't know anything about him.
Played for Philadelphia Union, played for Portland Timbers, I believe. Tons of MLS experience. At one point was even considered being called up for a U.S. national team camp. Defensive midfielder, can move up with 2 and distribute some passes. He's a good backup. The issue was in MLS because he fought for his position, got benched, and then it seemed like everywhere else he went, there was someone that was always just a better player in his position because they were international players that would come in. So he's a good vet. And then you also look at players like Sean McFarlane. He played for Miami FC 2, which was the championship team in NPSL in the Sunshine Conference. And that was the most competitive conference, in my opinion, in NPSL. I think like 3 or 4 teams were all separated by 1 game. And if you look at all the talent that came from that conference, they're all over now in USL Championship and League One. So he's in, when Miami FC 2 played last year, they were playing their 1 guys because of the 1 guys didn't have anywhere to play since the league shut down, and they had to go to NPSL until the Founders League was found this year. So he was playing with MLS players, and he was playing with some decent veterans and some experienced guys. So I mean, Austin's not terrible. I wouldn't think that they're going to go out there and get smashed every game. I think you guys can give them a little more credit.
I think someone said that on Transfer Market they have the highest salary in the USL, I think, or the highest value rather, which doesn't mean much, but I thought that was intriguing on top of what you just said, Jason, which is really helpful. So
yeah, and Diego Rest, what's his last name? Restrepo? Yeah. I mean, come on. He's a solid player as well.
It's true. Good leader.
Good keeper. That player's a keeper.
He's a keeper. All right, we better move on. Ryan, who are you going to pick next?
I have to go with Hometown Cooking on this one and select North Carolina FC.
Okay.
I was happy that they've maintained or been able to stay on the board. I think it's going to be interesting to follow Dave Sarakin's basically post-national team job here. And basically they'll have Austin Aloes, and they also just signed a affiliation deal with FC Cincinnati, which I'm interested to see how that turns out. And then I think the big player I'm most curious about following this season is a former NC State product and a weird deal with the Celtic FC, Manny Perez, who basically signed with the club. I think it's their third American all time, and then was loaned over to NCFC. And I think at defense, he could be a really solid pick.
I had North Carolina on my stuff as a fringe team that was going to be on my playoff side of the would they make the playoffs, would they not? So I think they're at worst probably a good seventh to 10th place pick. I think so. That's a good pick, man.
I definitely see on solid team or borderline side.
They're going to be fun to watch no matter what. They're going to be a favorite of mine where if I look at a bunch of games that are on, NCFC's on, I'm going to lean toward it just for all the youth. They have a lot of guys related to the national team youth programs. And, maybe even Frankie Amaya will go there. I don't know if anyone else has thought about that or, there's rumors of him going down to a Mexican side, even in tier 2. So, but that'd be cool, right? It'd be cool to watch him and Manny Perez play on the same team again, outside of the youth program. So cool team.
It's just these last 2 books are just go against my entire thing because looking at this, I have Austin as number 15 team in the West and North Carolina as number 14 in the East. So I think we're entering the territory of just wild cards of who might get lucky.
I also want to
I think these two teams are kind of awkward.
Sounds like my college days.
And mine, but and high school days and post.
Wild card might get lucky.
Well, at least more so with this pick. I already picked 2 Western sides to start. I need to balance it out and take Eastern sides because everything has to be perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Speaking of perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Phil, you're up next.
And well, I guess I want to say when going back to Modi Kugo, he actually went to the same high school at the same time as my younger brother. So
hey, interesting.
Relationships.
All right. So I've been going crazy, and I think I better just go with a safe pick instead of what I was thinking about doing, which was going to be even crazier than anything else. So I'm going to go with Charlotte Independence. I mean, just listen to these guys that are on the team. Jorge Herrera, Alex and Enzo reunited again. Brandon Miller, Hugh Roberts. I mean, come on. This team has to be at least pretty good, if not very good. I'm interested to see how McGinnis pans out. Koopman is there. Speaking of Celtic, weird loan deals having to do with MLS and USL. Gutman's going to land there, or Gutman. I don't know how to say his name. So it'll be a fun team to watch as well, especially in the attack. If they can solidify the back, they're going to be in good shape no matter what they do. And Jeffries is still there, even if he's the GM. So they're not going to suck. That's for sure.
I was hoping that they might stay on the board until I can get them. So
yeah,
I was hoping for it. Yeah, good pick. That's a good pick.
Besides that, I'm interested in seeing if they can make a rebound this season in the East.
I think they will. It's such a good start. Yeah, I already said everything I liked about them. I think they're going to do it.
And on that note, I will leave the fan delegation pick to my boy Harry. And as I go, in the great words of Hartford on social media, look how good I look. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason, thanks.
Can I just
I do
vote
get a pick
him
here, though, right?
Yeah, you get a pick. But I'm just saying, could Jason have possibly had the best entrance and exit I think we've had on the show ever?
I think he's been thinking about it for a couple weeks. So just saying.
Well, I'm sure he was planning it for a long time. But hey, man, if you're gonna plan something like that, at least go big or go home, right?
No, if you've heard League One Fun, he does that stuff every week.
All the time.
Yeah, he does it in his sleep. It's great.
Which is a good opportunity to tag our sister show, League One Fun. Because if you liked listening to Jason, you should go follow them and listen to their podcast.
It's been going well. A lot of buy-in from League One. Teams and the league itself. It's been really fun to watch how much they've been working together. And Jason has had some great ideas on how to get things going. The crew's been good.
Cool. All right, Pony. Go for it.
Well, it was between 2 teams for me, one East, one West, and I'm going to take a West team who really has impressed me in their early goings. They were not that great last year. They've always been an okay team, but they fell off, and I think they're going to come back this year, especially when the West is not quite as top-heavy as the East. I'm going to go with another elevation-heavy team and take the Colorado Spring Switchbacks here. They've had some very impressive preseason games.
I agree with you.
Yeah, they won the mini tourney up in Salt Lake.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish 5th, 6th place and actually knock someone off in the first round.
Have they raised the banner yet?
No.
It's not Vegas, okay?
They didn't beat an MLS team, so.
I only had 2 teams in the West that I was confident would finish between 7th and 10th, and Colorado was one of the 2. So good pick.
I get why you say that, but I think they're going to have a better year than usual. But a play-in game, I could see a play-in game if they get kind of stuck in a rut, which they tend to do at times.
I think what really helps Colorado out this year is that affiliation with the Rapids, because a lot of times they travel a little bit light on the road, and supposedly with the agreement that's going to help that out with with the budget and being able to field a full roster, not have to travel a man or two light on the road. So
yeah,
I think the Switchbacks will be a lot better this year than they were last year.
Finally, right? Finally, those two affiliated. Like,
it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Why are you sending Ben Mines to Charlotte? It makes no sense at all. So now we get to see Ben Mines in Colorado Springs.
You can say that as a slogan for U.S. soccer. It makes no sense at all.
I know. We made fun of San Antonio and NYCFC so much, but the Charlotte Rapids thing.
But there's no affiliate. Well, there's an affiliation, but there's no player movement, so it's an affiliation only in name only. So
yeah, Harry, that's how they were with Wilmington. Not a single player was sent down to us. It was affiliation on paper.
So, which is all right.
Speaking of Harry, though, Harry, welcome to the show, man. I know you've said a few things now, but you've never actually been on, right? Officially?
Not officially. I'm usually the chat groupie.
You are a legend, man. Everyone knows you. You listen to more podcasts and you read more content than probably anyone in the USL.
I wouldn't go that far, but thank you. It's just with my job, I'm able to have it on in the background, so it's it's a great way to pass. And to me, it's how I learned about the league, and being a San Antonio fan, and it's one of it's a great way to interact with other fans and supporters around the league. And I know the USL show, you guys have been turning out great content for this is your guys' second year, but going back to the previous version, you had another 2-3 years before that. So
that's right. Long overdue, buddy. But I think it's your turn to pick if you want to go for it.
Yeah, we're gonna go east because so far we got 3 in the west. So we're gonna go with the Legion, Birmingham. Mickey Lopez, Matt Van Oekel from OKC, and of course the first player they signed, Chandler Hoffman from Real Monarchs. Pretty good core to start out with. They're an expansion team, so it's you don't know 100% how they're going to turn out, but I do think that they'll contend for the playoffs in the East. Probably being more Western side, I think the West is probably a little bit deeper than you guys are giving credit for. But
never.
But we will see. I think as we saw last year the East was pretty top heavy, and I think that's going to be kind of very similar how it is, and I think the Legion can slip into the East playoffs, probably that 6th, 7th, 8th spot, very worst case in the playoffs or the play-in games. Pardon me.
Not a bad pick. I think they're one of the more interesting expansion sides.
I put them at number 2 expansion teams walking in.
Doesn't hurt to have Chandler Hoffman. I know he's already got a couple goals in preseason. So
yeah, I mean Birmingham was the team was going to pick either them or who actually chose last round is one of those two. I mean, I think I have Birmingham as number 8 in the East. So
8 in the East, interesting. Oh boy, not me. Interesting. So why though, Pony? Cool. Well, we should move on to Kevin. He sighs heavily. Jeez, buddy.
I did well at this point. Like I have 2 picks left, and I don't know who
We
to
should move
pick.
on to Kevin. He sighs heavily. Jeez, buddy.
I did well at this point. Like I have 2 picks left, and I don't know who
We
to
should move
pick.
on to Kevin. He sighs heavily.
Why do we have the three-way I did well echo at this here? point, like I have 2 picks left, and I don't know.
Hey, Alan.
What up?
Turn off your feed. We're getting it pretty loud, bud. There we go. Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry.
Kevin, go ahead.
That'll go on forever. Thank you. All right. So I feel that because I've picked 3 teams in the East already, I have to pick somebody in the West. And I'm trying to decide who's got the best potential of making a play-in spot. God, and it's down to like 2 teams for me. I guess I'm gonna go. I don't actually want to pick this team, but I'm going to because in their inaugural season they made 8th, which was not the playoffs. Then the next season they made 9th, which was not the playoffs. And then they had a really bad 2017, which I think that was an outlier. And then they actually made the playoffs last season. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs this season. And again, I don't want to pick them, but I'm going to because I think that they might make 9th or 10th. And so at least it'll be at least a point for me. So I'm going to go Portland Timbers 2. And I'm not doing it for the homer pick. I actually don't want to pick them. I'm not sure if they're going to make the playoffs this year, but given like historical seasons when they do just average, they're usually mid-table. And I think since 10 teams are going to make the playoffs, mid-table might be good enough for a point. Maybe if they do well, they could win their playoff round, but I'm not expecting more than like 2 points from them if they can make the playoffs. So I'll take that. Next round, I feel like I'm going to be leaving like 2 Western teams on the board that could probably get me points. But I think another team... No, because then I'd be taking another MLS 2 side. Gosh. 4 Eastern teams and a Western team. I just feel like I'm not picking right, but I don't know. Past 2 seasons, they've actually made the playoffs. They've improved every season since 2016, and I feel like they should be able to get 7th through 10th in the East pretty easily. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go with Bethlehem Steel.
Yeah, that's who I thought you were gonna pick before Portland. Honestly,
I think the only reason I went Portland first was just because I just felt like I had to have something in the West.
Mm-hmm.
It was between them and 2 other teams that are still available in the West. I don't want to mention yet, but I don't know if I don't know if that was a good pick. I'm kind of.
I do. I think ever since they sent those coaches down from the senior team to Portland, I think they whipped them into shape. I don't know why it made a difference, but I really do think that's one of the biggest things that changed. I don't know if it matters what players they have.
Well,
decent side.
There's rumors that they might sign a couple interesting players like they usually do each season, get some young international players and just, kind of test the waters. Last season, it worked out quite well with Marvin Loria, who's signed to the first team. But I agree, like a big reason why last season I was confident, I was 100% convinced they would finally make the playoffs was because they brought Cameron Nolis down and got rid of the incompetent guy they had, or I guess demoted him, not got rid of him. And then another big reason is Giovanni Savarese. Like he takes it as seriously, if not a little bit more seriously, than his predecessor. And I think they're continuing to develop that side. So hopefully it'll work. Hopefully it works out. I'm hoping for at least 2 points with this pick.
Right on. Well, we got a new guy back. It's Alan, and you got to tell us what you're wearing right now, man, because I think I spotted something.
So this is my San Diego Sockers jersey, home of the Landon Donovan. He's played 1 game so far and has scored 1 point and a beautiful assist on a power play goal. He looks a little lost out there, but the Sockers are quite a fun team. Really good players. Really good in the community. Just went to an event last night at a brewery with them. So I wanted to show some local love because we don't really have anything above like I think like a USL team, USL 2 team in like northern San Diego. So I had to give them some local love on the USL show.
Well done there. Well, have you been thinking about your pick? You didn't get a great spot to pick from, but
no, and I'm not a huge
these teams.
Yeah, I'm
Make
not
a
a huge
playoff
fan of this team, and I've definitely talked crap about them on Twitter recently. But I think short of watching the U.S. not qualify for the World Cup at the same bar as their coach, we are going with the Las Vegas.
There it is.
Yeah, as much as I hate kissing llamas, I think they're going to do decently well. I think that they're going to continue their craziness out there in Las Vegas, which is always kind of fun to watch from afar. I think Ronaldo can actually do some damage out there. As much as some people don't like the preseason, I'm going to believe what Jason says, and preseason does matter as far as getting the guys motivated and looking good. And I've been told that Alex Harley is a monster. As much as the 5th round pick is sometimes scraping the barrel, I think Las Vegas is a pretty solid for this round.
I have no respect for Eric Ronaldo.
Fair enough. I mean, I think he was the reason why the U.S. didn't qualify. I watched him, and he was not happy the entire game. I had to leave right away because I did not want to be around that.
That's gonna be. It's always a fun team to watch. Like, what are they gonna do now? Kind of
Right.
thing. So
they're bringing back the money drop. So
yeah.
Why? I mean, that was a bad idea last year.
Just as crazy as ever.
Time to make a
Serious with
gold bar.
pennies.
I think they're going to be good too, Alan. Actually, that's who I was almost going to pick, and I was like, I can't pick them over Charlotte. I can't do it. But I think Vegas is going to be good. I think they're going to be great.
Well, great reaching, but I mean, I have them as a play-in team.
Yeah.
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's higher than that, to be honest with you.
I put Vegas as 9 in the West.
What are you guys smoking?
I mean, I don't think they'd go higher than
okay.
6.
They've looked okay.
Yeah.
And the West kind of has that steep drop-off at one point.
That's a legit point. Like, where is that steep drop-off going to be in the West? Is it going to be after position 8 or 9, or is it going to be after that, the playoff? We'll see. But I agree with you that there's definitely going to be a significant drop-off somewhere in the West. But I don't know where it's going to fall.
It's after 8 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have my East number 14 above my West number 9.
It's 8 for me too, and I feel like it's a real heavy drop.
Right. So, gentlemen, I got to bounce because we got to eat because it's past dinner time out here. So Carson's gonna fill in for our last pick. It's been a pleasure, guys. Sorry about the sound loop.
Oh, you're good, man. I was just trying to get your attention.
I have like 18 windows open, and I couldn't click it fast enough. So have a good night, guys.
You too.
Good night.
All right.
Oh. Yeah, Pony, you're next.
So it's me again. I have a team who I am surprised has lasted this long because while they're new, I think they were actually high upside out East.
Yep.
I'm taking Hartford.
Yep. I knew it.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but if some new team makes a run, it's them.
Yeah.
I mean, I had them as like a very early 4th round pick.
They just know Nielsen knows how to defend, right? I mean, I saw them in the Western Conference Final against Swope Park, and it was scoreless, and it took goalkeepers on the penalty kicks to win it. It was ridiculous, just ridiculous. And he can do that again. He could do it all year long. It won't bother him at all.
Yeah,
they're going to do fine. Sorry to interrupt. You might have had more there, Pony.
No, I mean, that's basically, I think they're a team who easily could make a run at the lower tier playoff team, and if they get lucky, they could get an upset. They have the talent to get a good upset.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the team where you see oh, they made playoffs, they're gonna just get stomped no matter what. If the team makes the playoffs and actually has a talent to win the game.
Yeah. And you're also not going to say, oh, they're going to blow that team out of the water either.
No, of course not. They're gonna win 1-0 if they win.
Yeah. This is Lily Ball back in the day in a way, but maybe even less exciting. We'll see. There are a couple players that I really like up there that, ex St. Louis guys. So it'll be fun for me too. I'm going to go ahead and do my next pick. I'm going to take Fresno just because to me, they've always been a team that has the talent to do more than they do every year. And I'm always so disappointed. Juan Pablo Caffa is one of my favorite players in the league. I think he's incredible. And, I don't know. I feel like they make too many mistakes and they don't attack quite to their potential either. But I do think they're a good team and could do something good if they pull it together for once.
Oh, that's what I
feel the Kappa love for me.
What'd you say?
I've been saying he's one of the best players for years.
Yeah.
That's the team that I wanted to pick. I just wasn't sure. That's the one I was thinking in the West. It was between Fresno and Portland and somebody else, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I think the only reason why I didn't pick them is because last season in their first season they got 12th, and I don't know if they'll be able to improve that. I'm sure they can and probably get 9th or 10th, but I don't know. I was just like, I don't know what to do, and I panicked a bit, but I wish I had picked them.
Right on. Well, that leads to Ryan.
I'll move right along and head back out west for this one, and I'm going to select El Paso Locomotive FC. I feel like I needed to have an expansion side, at least in my grouping, just because of how many teams we have, and just at least from the start, like their branding has been A+. I big fan of the crest, but then when you look onto their side, Richie Ryan from FC Cincinnati, Omar Salgado are probably like the two big signings that stick out. James Kiffey from Charlotte Independence, and then a former Crew player and Logan Ketterer at goalkeeper. I feel like they could be a solid side. We just haven't heard so much from them here in preseason, so I'll be interested in how they fit in Western Conference, especially in Texas, now that we actually finally have like a really good Texas derby going on.
Another team I wish I knew a little bit more about, but they do have a decent amount of veterans that always gives me a little more faith. Like you just said, basically. Looks like we need to pick for Evan again. 2 more teams.
I actually got a hold of him a little bit, and he said Memphis is one of his picks.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go Memphis.
Memphis it is.
Pick an easy one there.
I gave him like 4 picks at the start of this round, and all of them are gone except for Memphis. So
perfect.
Well, then let's make sure he gets Memphis. What else should we give for him? My vote would be Tacoma.
Yeah, that'd be my vote.
2 votes for Tacoma.
Tacoma.
Make it 3.
3 votes for Tacoma.
Not mine, but okay.
So why not, Pony?
I have Tacoma as like my number 3rd to last team.
But they are our future national team.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't mind it because at this point, someone might get lucky and get 10th, but
yeah.
Tacoma.
Hey, yeah, Tacoma.
You're in a coma. Anyway, so all right, so Evan's got Memphis and Tacoma. Cool. Ryan, what are you gonna go with?
Final round time. I'm not excited about any team that's left on the board.
I know who you want to pick.
I actually have one thing I actually am excited about on the board right now.
Oh,
there's still somebody I wanted to pick left, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. So,
jeez, hold on. I'm debating between like a couple teams here.
You can only have 5 picks here, man.
I know. I guess I'll stick out in the Western Conference, and I'll take LA Galaxy too.
Good pick.
Good pick.
All right, cool.
I mean, they had like a few good years of being good, then they fell off. If they returned to anything like they used to be, strong.
And this is the team that provided us with Efrain Alvarez.
Oh, of course.
And so I would at least put LA as one of the more reputable MLS two sides in this league, that they're a solid team with a good academy, probably second to only Swope Park out in the West. And I'm honestly, I think that maybe they're probably won't be in a playoff race, but at least they'll try and make it exciting. But who knows? Maybe I'll pray for a Zlatan rehab stint.
Well, now we have to like assign something to Phil because he's up next,
So
and he
I
had to.
only step away real quick. So
He stepped away, and it's like he was up next. Like you could have just mentioned someone real
what's
quick.
everyone's next pick?
Ludone or Atlanta?
RGV.
I have RGV.
I'd say Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's not my pick, but go for it.
All right, Phil can have Atlanta. So I guess Pony. What do you? I guess Pony. I know what you're going to pick then.
Oh yeah, I'm taking RGV. I mean,
The last team in the West that I was.
a couple of years ago, they were one of the best teams in the West.
I know.
I mean, I can't see how
Did
you
I miss
dropped
my
one.
pick?
You
Oh,
did.
you're back?
Yeah. Well, what do you want? Because we picked Atlanta United for you, but we'll change it. What did you want?
Yeah, let's change it to the Roughnecks.
Oh,
Okay, we're still good.
I just prefer the Roughnecks over all the others because sometimes they flash with lucky players.
All right, that
And
works
I'm
out.
sorry, I got called into work, so I'm gonna head out, fellas. But thanks, it's been fun.
No worries.
Good. Have fun at work.
Yeah.
All right, so we changed that pick for Phil to Tulsa. Pony picked Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, I'm
so
still
then
thinking RGV. I mean, they've been good a few years in a row. I mean, they were one of the top teams in the West a couple of years ago. I don't see how you could just write them off as the last pick in the draft. You don't drop that far that fast.
Oh, I know, but my question is, can I officially pass on my final pick and not pick the last team? Literally make them unpicked?
Go full bingo, man.
Okay, because I'm so Carson, what's the final fan team pick going to be?
Let me think. I think we might go with the abbreviation club ATL UTD2.
All right, Atlanta United 2, the wannabes people that no one really cares about. So,
and I have to give a shout out real quick. We shouted out some gear. My boy Sean Porter fights next Saturday on Fox, defending his welterweight title. So, shout out to him, and shout out to the abbreviation team that will make the playoffs and get us some points.
No, they won't.
Miguel Almiron's going to go back on loan.
No, he won't.
They're playing on KFC instead of on a baseball stadium, so that should at least help them a bit more.
No, it won't.
It helped Atlanta tonight in CCL. Are you just upset that you stuck with Loudon?
No, I'm not, because I'm officially passing on the final pick. I will not pick the last team.
You know, if I've been honest, I'd pick Loudon over a couple teams because I think they actually have a ceiling of everyone gets loaned down and they're an okay team. They're 12th.
This isn't the MLS Super Draft. We can't pass on picks here.
He traded it for Tam.
Yeah, I'll trade it for a freaking cold cheese sandwich. I don't care.
Deal. I have
All
some
right.
cheese and white bread in the fridge.
Then Pony can have 7 teams. I'll have 5. I don't really care. Ludone United is my pick for the absolute worst team in the entire USL. It's my pick for the Tulsa Portland. Will they break a losing record trophy? I think.
No one's ever going to be as bad as Antigua Barracuda.
Oh, that's true. They probably won't be that bad.
Per my ratings, Richmond last year is the second worst team of all time. Then you have Tulsa from last year and Portland from 2 years ago.
Yeah, but I do think that one 2 years ago, I hope it was an outlier for Portland. But yeah, so all right, fine. If I'm forced to take Ludone with a gun to my head, then I don't know. I'd probably rather take the gun to my head, but I mean, they have got. If I don't even know if anybody even cares about that team. If they have like 1 or 2 fans and they're listening and be like, so I feel sorry for you two.
They have 2,000 followers on Twitter, and they signed Peebo Dewey from North Carolina FC, who's also a former Hammerhead.
Well, then why didn't you pick him?
I didn't want to.
All right. let it be known that I did officially pass on my final pick, as I would rather have no team than Loudoun United. But I put him on there because I have to.
Watch you end up with Loudoun wins it all, and you default your victory right there.
Okay, all right. So if Loudoun United somehow wins USL Cup, then I am saying on February 28th of 2019, before the USL season starts, I am forfeiting any and all wins, not just in the draft picks, but also in the pick'ems. Any and all points will go to Pony if Loudoun United win the USL Cup.
Deal done.
You have my word. If that happens, I'll forfeit everything.
One more attempt. Well, what happens if Loudoun makes the playoffs?
I get the points.
No, I said if they win. I said if they win USL Cup.
Okay. So, recapping the draft.
Yep.
Kevin's team is Nashville, New York Red Bulls, Swope Park, Portland, Bethlehem Steel, and Loudoun. The fan team is Phoenix, San Antonio, OKC Energy, Birmingham, Las Vegas, and Atlanta. My team, Indy, Charleston, the Real Monarchs, Colorado Springs, Hartford, and RGV.
That's a good team.
Louisville City, St. Louis, Ottawa, Charlotte, Fresno, and Tulsa. Ryan has Sacramento, Reno, Tampa Bay, North Carolina, El Paso, LA Galaxy 2, and Evan, as MIA in the consensus picks, has Orange County, Pittsburgh, New Mexico, Austin, Memphis, and Tacoma. So we are all obviously going to regret this in a few months from now. But thank you all for tuning into the USL show. And thank you to our sponsor, Roughneck Scarves, the official scarf sponsor of the MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get your custom scarves for a group or team at roughneckscarves.com. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening and for putting up with our random spouting things for the last hour and a half or so. We'll see you all for the regular season starting very soon with Friday night as our first game. RGV and Tacoma. Yay, two juggernauts. But we will all see you over the next few weeks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all our sponsors, and thank you for all our guests who sat in and dealt with our nonsense for the last bit of time. And we'll see you all over the next weeks, next months, and have a very USL season. And we're out.
Later, everybody.
Yay.